Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a solo hammock overnighter with quite a stealthy look and setup. So as you guys can see, I've got my hammock almost totally set up. I've got the rainfly pitched in this configuration because it is windy and it is actually forecasted to thunderstorm tonight. So fingers crossed we get a big storm tonight. I've got everything rigged and ready to go. One thing I do need to do though is I need to cut poles for the head end and the foot end of my hammock to lift up the foot box and the head box area to give it a little bit more form. So I'm going to go scout some pieces of wood around here. I can see a couple over there, and I did believe that I saw one over here. Small saplings that have fallen from the treetop. So I'm going to go gather those up, cut them the length, and get them popped in there, and then get my top quilt out of my bag and get that set up in the hammock as well. Alright, so I've got two rather small sapling type pieces of wood here, and basically what I do is I already have it pre-measured for my personal arm length. So I like rounding off the ends here, get all the burrs off, that way it doesn't tear any of the fabric or cause any issues with the wind blowing around and whatnot. So I'm just going to round this off, chamfer the end so it's not pointy, and there are actual pockets in the foot end of the hammock, one underneath and one on top, and that's what I want it to look like, to have a raised three-dimensional foot box area. Now this company does supply aluminum poles to actually go in there. I don't have the pole kit, so I'm just going to make one. So I've got it measured out for my fingertip to just about my elbow area for my length, and that seems to work really well. So I'm just going to make up one for the foot end, one for the head end, get those put in there, and should be good for the hammock setup. And then I get my underquilt out of the bag, get that lofted, toss it in there, and then start on coffee, because it is quite cold out, it's windy, it's gonna rain, it's gonna pour hopefully. So I want to get coffee made up now right here on the ground and sit back and relax for a few moments. Alright guys, I just readjusted the tarp, and I just want to point out what I did for guying it out. So where it is windy and rainy, I want the back of the tarp opened up, that way I can kind of have a 360-degree view around the tarp as opposed to having one side blocked off. It just offers a little bit more visibility and enjoyment for me personally. So what I've done is I've taken this branch from the tree and I just wrapped the guy line around, and I put the actual tent peg in the loop, so it's not hurting the tree in any way. But what this does is it allows me to get it up high off the ground, because my guy line's actually probably about 12 inches too short to go around the actual tree itself. And this works, it doesn't hurt the tree, but it also adds a shock adjuster. So this is going to move with the wind, acting like a piece of bungee cord, which is then going to tension or loosen the tarp up. So I think I'm going to leave it open like this all night. If it does get really, really windy, I may put it back down to the ground and guy it out and kind of tighten up the back end. But for now, we got a nice breeze. I think I'm going to leave it open. So just a little hack for you guys wondering how to get this up in the tree with a little bit of a shock adjuster. Find a nice sapling. Don't pick a dead branch because that'll break off. But I think this will work really well. So I'm going to duck inside the tarp now and start on coffee. All right, guys, jumped inside of the hammock just to enjoy my coffee for a little bit and relax. One thing I will mention, the coffee is extremely hot. The reason why I'm saying that is because I also don't want to answer the question of how did I get in the hammock with a cup of coffee. It required a series of finely orchestrated movements, and one of those movements involved hot coffee. There's that word again, hot. So I'm going to sit down and enjoy what's left of my coffee. And I gotta say, this is awesome. I've got a view of the lake and all that fog and mist out there. It is raining very, very fine mist out there, and it looks awesome. I love seeing the pine trees across the lake just poking out of the fog. It looks incredible. It is windy, so I'm still fingers crossed on that rain and that thunderstorm tonight. Hopefully it hits and hopefully we get dumped on, because I'm going to be chilling right here just like this, watching the rainfall. So I will mention one thing. I do have my top quilt still inside of the stuff sack. I'm going to leave it in there for now just because it makes more sense coming in and out of the hammock. I don't want it flopping out, going all over the place. I'll leave it in the stuff sack for now. Later on when I need it, I could just deploy it out of there, loft it up, toss it on, and be comfortable that way. I'm also going to be bringing a whole bunch of gear inside of here, so all my change of clothes, my flashlights, whatever I need in here, I'm just going to pop in the storage sack. That'll sit there, and then of course I've got the gear lofts up on either side of the hammock, plus the ridge line for all kinds of stuff. That's why I love this system so much. Once you're in the hammock, there's no need to get out later on in the evening other than a bathroom break. Everything can be stored right in here and easily reached, and I love that so much about this system. So I'm going to enjoy my coffee for a little bit and enjoy what view I've got here, and then I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit as soon as this is done. Alright, update for you guys. It is now raining across the lake. It's blowing in through the trees a little bit, and it is getting quite a bit windier. So I think we are going to get this rain for sure. One thing I do want to do on this trip is, you guys will notice my twig stove that I bring often on the channel now. I have my alcohol stove down inside of it. So I've been using my alcohol stove with this quite a bit. And the reason why I got this is a multi-use item. So if I do run out of methyl hydrate spirits and I don't have any more fuel for my alcohol stove, I can then switch to sticks. So I could just put twigs inside of it, light a fire, and use it as it's intended to be used. I've yet to do that. So you guys will notice the whole outside is still stainless steel and only the top ring is discolored. So what I would like to do on this trip is I would like to cook supper using wood fuel instead of the alcohol stove. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do if the rain holds off. Now obviously I don't want to be doing it right here because the wind is blowing. It's gonna burn my hammock and my tarp if any embers spit out. And I'm also not going to be having a campfire for that exact reason, because the campfire is that way, the wind's coming this way, and it's just going to create a huge mess. So one other thing I want to cover is not only just that, but my alcohol bottle. So in previous episodes, you guys have seen the little glue bottles that I had. Those did fail. So if you guys are going to go that route, I suggest you don't. They did end up failing over time. So what I did is I grabbed a very small bottle of Coca-Cola. I got this at the gas station. I think it's 180 milliliters and red cap, so red, danger, rip the label off, you know, don't drink out of that obviously. But this holds liquid, it won't fail. It's very simple, it's very small. This is a ton of alcohol. I would never use this on a single overnighter, but I do have it just in case. So I did switch bottles. I will be getting an actual fuel bottle eventually, but they're like $40 on Amazon, and I just don't feel like $40 for a fuel bottle versus $1 is, you know, you get what I'm saying, 40 versus $1. This is readily available. So that's what I've got for methyl hydrate spirits. I need to go get the fire pit cleaned up though, so I want to get my stove over there. I'm going to pop it down in the fire pit, use that as a windshield, wind guard from the oncoming wind, and hopefully the rain holds off long enough that I can do that. And then this evening, it can rain all at once. I'll totally be ready for it. All right, I've got the wood stove loaded, ready to go with some birch bark and some twigs, and it just got ridiculously dark out like that. So massive amounts of dark clouds rolling in, and it was like someone just flicked a light switch. I was here putting the stuff in, I looked up and it was just dark. So I've had to adjust the camera settings quite a bit, and I think it's coming in now. I think it's coming in now, guys, and we're gonna get hammered. So what I wanna do is I really wanna burn in this. I think instead of doing supper, I'm gonna cook lunch on it. That way I could definitely get to burn it, which is right now, basically it's lunchtime. So I'm gonna get this going, get the cap on there once it's burned down, and cook up a quick lunch. And then that way, if it does rain later on, I've already have my goal accomplished. I can then just use the alcohol stove underneath of the tarp and stay dry that way. So I'm gonna grab lunch, dishes, my pot, water, and I'll be right back with all that and get this going really quickly. Alright, so this might be an epic failure because it is raining right now, so I'm going to try and get this going very quickly. I've got some matches, the birch bark is already in there. I've just filled my bottle up with water from the lake, so this does have to reach a boil. And I'm just making a quick soup, that is it. Let's get this going really quick and hopefully we can beat the rain. All right, so I'm all finished up with lunch, and I gotta say, definitely awesome. Chicken lemon soup was really good. Something light, something small just to snack on. And I'm very happy that the rain has stopped. However, the wind is still pushing through here. So the wood stove is still burning over behind the camera. I want to talk about that just for a few seconds because typically I don't use twig stoves, and there are pros and cons with them. A lot of the pros are it's renewable fuel, so once this fuel is gone, my alcohol stove is useless. With the twig stove, there's all kinds of fuel in the forest. Makes it really, really good to have, just picking up fuel as you walk through the trail. The cons are they're very, very finicky, okay? So you have to constantly load wood inside of it. You gotta poke them and prod at them to get them to burn properly. And one thing they do is they bake the wood. So it'll bake the wood until it gets to its flash point basically, and it spontaneously combusts. Now the problem with that is when wood gets to its flashing point and spontaneously combusts, it's because it's extremely dry and it's at the optimal temperature, and just everything comes together and it just boom flashes up in fire. The problem with that is it burns in a matter of seconds, and then you're left with no wood fuel and you've got coals on the bottom again. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes for this stuff to bake to a temperature to actually combust, and then it's gone within 20-30 seconds. So then you got to restart the process. So that is a little bit of a downfall with them. Now if you go with a larger twig stove, you're going to have more room for fire, and then you're moving up into a wood stove size where you can actually sustain quite a bit of fire. The twig stove size that I have here today is very small. You really got to have some dry wood to put in there and get it burning properly. But my intended use for it was with the alcohol stove. This is just a fun little backup, and it works really well. I got to say, it did work. It boiled up my water nicely. I'm still playing around with it, still burning it in a little bit, trying to get the metal to change color over there. But all in all, I got to say, it is working. So I'm going to be lounging around camp for a little while. Like I said, the rain has stopped, but the wind is coming through quite a bit. We got probably about 2 hours until supper time. So I'm just going to relax around camp, maybe go for a little bit of a walk, and bring you guys back when it's that time to start on supper. Okay guys, it's getting a little bit into evening time right now, and I'm just getting ready here to basically eat supper. So I've got a bagel, I've got a Backpackers kind of freeze-dried meal, really good one, I will say. I've had this before. Savory chicken is very, very good. So bring you guys up to speed with what is going on now, because it is significantly later in the day. I did go for a walk. I actually hiked all the way around to the other side of the lake. I did not bring the camera with me because I was afraid I was going to get downpoured on, and it actually did rain. I had to hide underneath the tree for a little bit before I made it back here. So as you guys can see, the tarp is still a little bit wet up top, but it is not raining yet. So my fingers are crossed. I really want some rain, and that's the whole point for coming out to this location, was to enjoy the rain. So hopefully we get it. Usually I get lucky, sometimes I don't, but right now I'm just going to hunker underneath the tarp here. Like I said, I've got my food, just got hot water in here, so I gotta wait for that to come up to temp, rehydrate, and then I've got my bagel. I'm probably just gonna sit down here, enjoy a little bit of the view of the lake, and enjoy my supper, and hopefully we get some weather very soon. Alright, so here comes the rain, guys. It's been off and on for the last 15-20 minutes, and right now it is actually raining. It's coming through the treetops, but out on the lake it is raining quite steady. So it's kind of coming across the lake in big pockets of rain, and then it stops and then rain. So I think it's actually going to come in for good later on this evening, and I'm ready for it. I mean, I'm just going to hang out right here underneath the tarp and enjoy the rain. So I did bring one drink with me. I brought a blackberry sparkling water, so I'm going to enjoy that. Very small can, so that's kind of my treat for this trip. And hopefully I'll be able to enjoy that in some rain. I'm waiting for more because I was told I was going to have a thunderstorm, so we will see what happens. Well, I guess I got lucky again and got my rainfall. We are missing one thing though. Thunder and lightning. It's two things actually, but you know what I mean. We're missing the thunder. We've got the rain. Definitely some decent rain, and hopefully we get some booms and some flashes of light in the sky. That'd be awesome to bring it all together. Alright guys, I'm just getting ready to basically jump inside of the hammock for the evening. The rain is still coming down off and on, and kind of, like I said earlier, it's coming in waves across the lake. So you get a big pocket of rain and then it goes away and then it comes back and so on. So I've got a light set up here on the stick shining in, kind of helping me see, because it is much darker than what it looks like on camera. So I'm basically going to finish up my drink first of all, probably bring it in the hammock with me actually. I got that little bottle holder on the side. I'll prop it in there and sip on it for a little bit, because I'm going to be up for quite a while. I have 2 movies saved on my phone that I want to watch, so that'll be my enjoyment for the evening, listening to the rain. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera in, show you guys an interior look at the setup, show you how much room I've got in here, and basically I'm just going to be jumping in and getting changed and getting nice and comfortable. Okay guys, so here's the inside view of the hammock. This is basically going to be me for the rest of the evening. I do have my light up here just kind of hanging. I've got my headlamp that's going to go in here. Right now it's just off to the side. I've got my bag, so this is a stuff sack for the hammock. I've got that loaded full of treats and snacks that I'm actually going to be eating. I'm not going to be leaving it in there, but I am going to be consuming all of that. So that'll basically be taken care of. Up here on this side, in this gear loft area, I have my lens bag and I've got some change of clothes up here. I actually get dressed inside of the hammock, so it's super easy. Once you recline back and you find the balancing point, it's super easy to get changed into clothing. So I'll be pulling my pants off, sweater, shirt. I've got a pair of Under Armour kind of base layer stuff, so I'm just going to change into those later on. My shoes are going to come off and I'm going to tie them together and drape them over top of the ridgeline on either end of the hammock, so whichever one I want to hang it off, if I can do that. And yeah, so I've got a flashlight up here on the ridgeline, and it's a really comfortable setup, especially in the rain. Right now I'm in chair mode. I can still see out. I've got that side of the tarp still pinned up high, and I've lowered the back end of the tarp down just to create a little bit more coverage for the wind. I do have my top quilt, which is still in the stuff sack. I'll get that out later on when I feel it's getting cold enough. And all in all, everything I need is inside of the hammock, including my camera bag. I've got that tucked up here on the side. So it is a very comfortable system, and I'm actually very excited to lay back and watch a movie. So I'm going to be getting out of this clothing and get changed into something comfortable, get this light off, and kick back and relax and enjoy the evening. So if it does pour with rain, I'll get the camera out again and start recording. If not, I'll see you guys first thing in the morning for some coffee. Good night, guys. Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful, wet and rainy morning out today, so I definitely got my rainfall. That's a check in the box. It not only rained this morning, but last night, holy cow. Last night it got windy. There were acorns falling out of the tree, and I have the tarp pitched extremely tight right now. And it sounds like a snare drum when anything like solid or even large raindrops hit the tarp. It's just, it's hilarious. It almost sounds like Star Wars that sometimes because it's pulled so tight. It's like, but last night was awesome. Really, really cool. The hammock was rocking just a bit. I actually slept mainly on my stomach. So that's the huge plus with this hammock that I love is I can sleep on my stomach, and I'm a big stomach sleeper. So slept on my side, my back, my stomach, all at above. And I was comfortable, very, very comfortable last night. So I did end up watching 2 movies, and then I shut it off, and I just rocked in the wind and fell asleep. And then I woke up to pounding rain. It was raining hard last night. I didn't adjust the tarp at all, so I left the front end open because this footbox area is very waterproof, so it doesn't really bother me inside of the hammock. And the bug net also stops a lot of that mist from going into the hammock. So all in all, I mean, it was a pretty good night last night, and it's definitely raining out there on the lake harder than it is in here right now, I can say that. So I'm going to enjoy morning coffee, and I also brought a pack of oatmeal that I'm going to get into shortly. So I'm just going to finish up my coffee out of the mocha pot and then clean that up, or the French press, I should say, and get that all tidied up and then start on oatmeal. Alright, so my oatmeal this morning is going to be made from fresh rainwater. So I did manage to collect pretty much a full bottle right here off the tarp with all that rainwater. I've done rain coffee, I've done rain tea, I've never done rain oatmeal, so we'll see how it tastes. So I've got some blueberry muffin oatmeal. This is from Wild Zora Foods. I've been enjoying a lot of their products lately, actually. This is really great stuff. So this will be the first time having this. I'm very excited for that. And I've still got a cup of coffee. So the morning's going pretty good so far. The rain is kind of off and on, coming in waves again, just like yesterday. It's coming in really heavy and then stop and then really heavy. But I'm telling you, last night and early this morning, it was just full on rain, just pounding rain. No thunder, no lightning. So I got rain. I didn't get the thunderstorm though. So maybe next time, who knows, maybe even later on today, we'll see. But I'm gonna let that boil up. That should only take probably about 2 to 3 minutes. There's only a little bit of water in there. And enjoy the coffee. I can hear some blue jays bouncing around here, so that's pretty interesting. A lot of birds out early this morning, I will say that. And I bet they were sheltered all night as well, just itching for a break in the rain to get out. So all in all, pretty awesome. I definitely love the rain. Alright, so it is raining pretty heavy right now. I've got loads of space underneath the tarp right now, and I'm actually staying very dry, but the problem is I need to get out of the tarp. I need to get the tarp taken down, so I've got just enough room in the backpack for the rain fly. That's going to get zipped up, but my issue is the camera, so I'm going to have to get the camera packed away because that is going to get absolutely drenched. And yeah, I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna get my sweater on, get the camera put away. So that means I gotta say goodbye to you guys, and I gotta get this rain fly down and then get out of here. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down in the comment section, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.